Hello, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome to my weekly show on creative business success. So stop, turn on the sound so you can hear what's going on. Today we're going to be talking about, are you being a pest or are you simply persisting in your follow-up? And the reason I'm talking about this, I will tell you in a moment. But first of all, for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Una Doyle. I'm the founder of CreativeFlow.tv, and I'm a business coach for creatives and their teams. And so really what I'm all about is helping creators to become creative entrepreneurs and creative leaders so that they can be happy, healthy and wealthy. Because I know that you all want to be doing work that you're proud of, yet you also want to have a life. Even though we can be a bit workaholic sometimes, but we want to have the choice about when we work and making sure that we're achieving our ambitions. Okay, so today's topic, pest or persistence, which is it? Well, it's really interesting actually, and I just want to share with you some quotes that I've found, as if my computer will stop. I'm getting the cursor going around. Thank you for sharing, by the way. Please do share it. Okay, can't share the quotes with you right now. I will have to come back to that afterwards. I think I'm going to have to shut down my my browser and bring that back up again. Okay, so the reason why I'm talking about this is I was at an event last week and somebody was talking about, oh yes, follow up with this person that I told you about. They've just been really busy, so that's why they haven't responded to you. And I said, look, until somebody says to you, go away, or no, or yes, ideally, then, you ought not be stopping to follow up. And they said, well, yeah, but I don't want to be a pest. So, and I thought about some of the conversations that I've had with clients. I thought, yeah, it'd be really useful to have some distinctions, some criteria as to how to know, which are you being, and obviously none of us want to be a pest. I don't want to be a pest. I'm pretty sure you don't want to be either. So, and I just thought it was really important because when you do persist in following up, then you will reap the rewards. And I had a client do this recently where he kept coming up, and and I kept saying, yes, keep going, and make sure that you are following up. And they did end up winning a really big contract and at a higher price because I was pushing them to put their prices up. So they won a big contract at a higher price than they previously would have put. And so it really is worth your while to do that follow-up. So I'll put the link later to that Facebook Live where I talked about that as well. So why is it that people don't follow up? I mean, apart from kind of not wanting to be a pest, what's the impact of you not following up? Well, clearly that is going to reduce your sales. Okay, so if you're not as persistent as you could be, if you're not following up, then that is going to have an impact on your sales. And more importantly than that, it means that you're not getting to help your ideal customer. So whatever the benefits are that they get from your product or service, then they're missing out if you don't follow up. And, they might even think that you're not interested in working with them. Sometimes it can, because the fact is life gets in the way. And how many times have you ever thought in the car, in the shower, while you're in the middle of a movie, whatever it is, and you've thought, oh yeah, I never got back to so-and-so. Look, it happens to all of us. So, if you were to look at it that you were doing them a favour, then that's a completely different approach, isn't it? And as you may be aware, it can take from 7 to 10. In fact, I believe that number has even gone higher, maybe 7 till 12 or 9 till 12. But it takes many, many points of contact with somebody before they're ready to purchase from you. Okay, so the thing is that it's, and I know for a lot of creators, like so many of you say to me, oh well, I'm not what's the word? I can't even think of the word now. Mercenary? No, not mercenary. Materialistic. So, I know that you want to do work that you are proud of, and I know you want to do work that you're well paid for. I know that money isn't the only object, but the thing is, if you're not getting the sales in, then you're not getting to share your work with that wider audience. You're also putting yourself under stress and worry. okay, if you're not making enough to pay the bills, or not making enough to live the life that you want to lead, where you're able to invest in yourself, where you're able to spend really good quality time with your friends and family, where you're able to pursue hobbies and interests and travel, and have different kinds of education that would just enrich your life, really. And if you don't have enough sales coming in, then that's actually the impact of that. So let me give you some criteria, and then just before we finish, I'm also going to give you a really good tip to make sure that you're never in the situation of not knowing as well. So here's some criteria. So number one, have they raised their hand? Have they gone, yes, I want to hear from you? Now this might be that they've opted into your newsletter, that they've asked, they've said, yes, send me this information. Maybe they have, maybe they're a referral. I mean, this was a situation last week. Somebody had been referred and then they hadn't had a response. So they weren't sure whether to keep following up or not. So if they've raised the hand, then they have expressed a level of interest. So if they've expressed a level of interest, then you definitely want to keep communicating with them. But depending on what kind of level of interest and where you've got to in the relationship, that will depend on how you communicate with them. So, for instance, have they actually said, yes, I'm interested in XYZ product or service, and you've actually had a conversation about it? Have you, did you actually agree for you to follow up with them? So you've had some sort of meeting and discussion, and they've said, I want to go and talk to so-and-so, or yes, send me the information and I will look at it. And have you actually invited them to buy? Okay, so this is obviously right at, the beginning of your relationship as a client, but, the end of the sales funnel, so to speak, where, have you actually invited them to purchase from you, where either that's in a meeting, in a conversation, or perhaps you've, sent it through a proposal or quote, but there's a sales, an actual buying decision is about to be made. So the thing is that the further along they are, then the more kind of specific and persistent I would suggest that you be. If somebody has kind of raised their hand and said, well, yeah, I'd kind of like to know a bit more about this topic, like in your newsletter, then by all means keep adding value by giving them educational content that positions you as an expert in your field and also is helping them. And of course you want to be, making offers in there for people to communicate with you, to have a meeting, to buy something. It's not just give. You need to be making the ask as well. Sometimes people, they might have been on your website and looked around and they're looking at the blog posts, or they're watching the lives or whatever, and they might not realise what exactly it is that you offer. So, don't assume that people understand all of this as well as you do. Obviously, the clearer kind of sales structure and sales funnel that you have in your business, then the easier it is to make all this work for you. But if you've actually had a conversation about them buying from you, then, you definitely want to be following up. If somebody has referred you, someone has said, yes, that person can contact me, keep following up. If you're being a pest in those situations, they will say, I've changed my mind. And, and that's absolutely fine. And I'm just going to bring up, actually, I had a fantastic email today. And I just thought this was perfect considering the topic we're talking about today. So this is where I'm looking at a specific payment processor for my clients, because I want to be able to take payments over the phone. I do a lot of direct debit stuff and kind of just direct into the bank payments, and PayPal's good occasionally. But anyway, so I started a process, and then I've been busy. So I've been building, the sales funnel and servicing my clients and things. So I haven't finished it yet, but it's on my list. It's definitely something I want to do, but it's not as much of a priority as some of the other things on my list right now. So this is what the email said. Hi Una, just following up to see when you think you'll be able to move forward with this. I want to make sure that my follow-ups become friendly reminders and not an annoyance. Look forward to hearing from you. Now, do you see, isn't that perfect? It's saying, hey, look, I'm nudging you, but I don't want to be a pest, So I'm kind of saying, well, is this helpful? If I had decided I was no longer interested, I could just do a quick reply going, thank you, I don't want to pursue this anymore. And then I know they'll stop emailing me. But, they haven't been rude or aggressive or anything like that. So what you do need to do is make sure that you adjust your communication to to make sure that it's appropriate for the situation that you are in. And one of the key ways of being able to do this as well is to always agree a next step. Okay, so this is the tip that I said to help you to not be wondering. So you've got some criteria to think about, but this one tip is to always agree a next step. And if people say to me, oh, well, I just want to have a think about this, number one, you also want to find out, well, what is it that they want to think about? Make sure you're asking the right questions, because sometimes people will say, I want to think about it, and it just means they're not interested, and that's fine. But, you want to know, because you don't want to be wasting your precious time, and your time is so valuable. You do not want to be wasting it following up with people who aren't interested. And just one other thing as well is make sure you are looking out for bad behaviour. Okay, people who actually would not make good clients, even if they did give you the business. So if somebody is continually putting you off and not making you a priority, then you might want to think twice about whether you want to do business with them. Okay, so particularly if you've had a good amount of interaction, and then all of a sudden they're just not responding and things. And a simple message like, "Hey, look, are you still looking to do this? If not, let me know, and I'll stop messaging you." Whatever it might be, and then they might just reply no. And that's okay, don't take it personally, obviously. Then they're just not the right client for you. And this is the thing, is that, do you know what? When you have enough of the right clients, enough of the right leads, enough of the right people putting up the hand to say, hey, yeah, I'm interested in what you have here, it's easier and easier to not be attached to any outcome. Okay, so that when you're following up, you can make sure that you are coming from a place of detachment, coming from a place of, I want what's best for you. So, if you want to go ahead, great. If you don't, that's no problem. Just let me know. And by the way, why would that be? Because sometimes people, they're just, they have some unanswered questions in their minds. Now, obviously, with the right sales approach, you can answer those questions as part of your process. And that will definitely increase the number of clients that you bring on, and also make sure you bring on the right kind of clients as well. Okay, I'm going to wrap that up now. So thank you very much for everybody who has joined live, and also thank you to replay viewers. Please, share, like, comment. I would love to answer your questions. I've run out of time though today, but if you want to pop any questions in the comments, I'll be happy to answer them. I will get a little notification saying to come back. So I just noticed some people just joining us. Afraid we're wrapping up now, but it'll be posted in a few minutes and you can watch it then. Okay, so before I go, if you found value in what you've experienced here today, then I would invite you to come and have a call with me. So I've popped a link in the comments where you can book an introductory call with me. There's no charge, and it's just 15 minutes to kind of let's have a quick chat about, well, what is it you're looking to achieve, and what are you doing about that? And I guarantee you I'll be able to help you with some tip or an insight or a strategy that will help you towards that. And so book that. I'd love to have a conversation with you, and yeah, that's it. So this is happening every week, 4:30 on a Wednesday, UK time, so that's GMT, and that's 11:30 AM EST. So if you have any questions, pop them in the comments and I'll be happy to address them later. Okay, have a fantastic week, and remember, be persistent. Oh, by the way, I've got some of those quotes now. They're coming up? Yes. So there was just something I really wanted to share with you quickly. Okay, persistence beats resistance. Absolutely. If you got to keep going, got to keep going. Oh yes, I liked this. Ambition is the path to success. Persistence is the vehicle you arrive in. And that's so true, because if you're not persistent, then you're never actually going to arrive there, are you? It's got to be part of your makeup as a creative business owner, to be persistent. And now you know how not to be a pest. You don't have to be afraid of being persistent, yeah? Patience, persistence and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. Yeah, that's a good one too, isn't it? So, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. That's enough inspiration to keep you going for the next week. And as I say, if you want to hop on a call and we can have a chat about your business and what your ambitions are and what your path to success might be, then give me a shout. All right, have a great week. Bye.